Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bitcoin in Asia from Bitcoin Magazine. I'm John Riggins, and this week we have more of a snapshot of some current happenings in China over the last week or so. So we're taking a couple of news items and getting an on-the-ground perspective. We're talking to Molly, head of marketing at Hashkey. She's based in Shanghai. She's started to make more of a name for herself on crypto Twitter, sharing kind of that on-the-ground perspective. She's also a former Bitcoin magaziner, so we talked to her about some things happening with mining in Sichuan, some Bitmain drama, some of the news about bank account freezings related to OTC trading of USDT and Bitcoin there. So nice to get that on-the-ground perspective, and I hope you enjoy it. Molly, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
For sure. At long last, it's good to be talking. So I guess to start out as an introduction, for those who don't quite know you yet, can you share kind of a little bit of your history in Bitcoin, what you're doing now?
I got into Bitcoin in 2016. I went to a meetup and I applied a job, a Bitcoin magazine. So I started Bitcoin magazine. I started working for Bitcoin magazine until last year. Then I joined Hashkey Group.
We're sad to leave you, but it was a good move. Sad to lose you, but it was a good move. First Bitcoin magazine hire in China, to be clear on that. It sounded a little too easy to get that job though. So 2016 to now, you're at Hashkey. Can you, I guess, give a brief overview of who Hashkey is, some of your products?
Sure. Hashkey Group is a holding company which is based in Hong Kong that focuses primarily on blockchain technology and digital assets. The firm was established in 2016 and has structured its company to cover many segments within the industry, which included Hashkey Capital, a leading investment firms in the crypto space in Asia, and Tokyo Hash, which provides exchange services within Japan. Hashkey Pro, a trading exchange that's more suited for the institution users, and then Hashkey Trading, a professional quant trade, and then OTC firm. And last is Hashkey Hub. It's a wallet platform which offers interest products to its users.
Thanks. And a big player in Asia and increasingly globally. To start with kind of a non-Bitcoin specific topic, but something that affects the industry and is still affecting the whole world, whether we like it or not, COVID. You're on the ground there in Shanghai. Can you give us a brief update on maybe some of the last developments the last few days, COVID-wise, in China?
Yeah, there are new coronavirus outbreak in Beijing after reported no new infections for over 50 days. And now the schools are closed, transport in and out of the city are shut down. There are already over 100 confirmed coronavirus case in Beijing that are linked to the wholesale food market, which called Xintiandi. They were a military being sent to Xintiandi or Xinfadi to freeze the flow of people, and they've been testing people from them. Now they have tested over 200,000 people. So currently Beijing is in a wartime mode.
Pretty quick reaction to being back in that mode. So not great news there, but there was kind of a few week break or segment there where travel and in-person events were starting to pick back up in China. And so the kind of annual mining summit in Sichuan was able to be held. Kind of happens every spring at the beginning of rainy season. All these miners get together. So I think you were there in Chengdu for that. Maybe give us your take from being on the ground there, some of the trends that you're seeing in the mining space.
Yeah, sure. Uh, but before that, I think the conference are probably going to be the last and the only conference of the year. There were more blockchain events were lined up for this month and the next month until August. And for the past 2 days, they all announced to cancel its event. So it's quite a shame. When you think coronavirus is over and then they come back again. And of that Chengdu event, I think that the biggest thing that I noticed is different, that there were a lot more financial services provider that were at the conference. There were a lot of like quant trading team. There were a lot of existing mining companies such as Mining Pool. They are also pushed out their own lending and borrow platform and offer the interest product for miners. So I think that's a sign that miners are getting more sophisticated and institutionalized. So they need those professionally too to leverage their earning. And also after having the earnings of miners are dropped because the current Bitcoin price is still relatively low, so they need more financial services as to help them to increase their earning in order to survive the winter.
Yeah, so that kind of increasing amount of products focused on providing additional financial services to miners, definitely a trend. I was there last year and it wasn't really there weren't really any well-capitalized efforts targeting that quite yet. Maybe a couple that were just getting started. So that's an interesting trend to see. I guess also related to Sichuan, in the last 10 hours or so, we've maybe seen some reports of some flooding, maybe some mudslides, an unfortunate potential byproduct of that rainy season, which is the reason for the cheap hydropower. But also kind of those couple of negative potential effects. Can you share what you know about that? Maybe what you've heard from miners in the region?
Yes. So in 3 a.m. today, there was a big mudslide happens in Denba, the county that's in Ganzi. According to the news report, there was a electricity station that got destroyed by the mudslides, and then one of the employee lost during the mudslide, and then they has another electricity station also is facing the same threat. So most mining farms are in Sichuan that are located around Ganzi, Liangshan, and Aba. And yesterday, the local authority released 3 warning notice to warning people that there's more mudslide and big floods are coming, which are gonna have some impacts on the mining farms, because on 2 sides. One is if most of the electricity station they're actually building in the valley, so it's very easy to hit by the floods or mudslides. So if they got destroyed, then it's gonna affect the electricity suppliers for the mining farms, and also a lot of most mining farms are actually building around the electricity station. So when the big flood or mudslide happens, it's actually the mining farms building around it also are easily to get impacted. Yeah.
We hope everyone's going to be okay. It's not a good thing to hear, but something to keep be aware of. We've seen this trend of kind of the industrialization of Bitcoin mining, but it's good to kind of appreciate some of the risks that are still being taken, some of kind of the tougher aspects of intense competition and mining in Sichuan today. Still, sticking with mining for a bit, something else that you've covered and updated the West on and done a good job with is kind of the competitive landscape of mining manufacturers there in China, specifically kind of that ASIC competition. Can you share a little bit about kind of thoughts on current state of that ASIC manufacturing competition? BitMEX had a nice report come out this week that laid it out pretty comprehensively, but you have also been following it closely.
I think the three major players, the three biggest miner manufacturers are Bitmain, Microbit, and Canon. And I think this year is going to be primarily it's going to be the fight between Bitmain and Microbit because now I think in the mining conference, because it was in the rainy season, so normally the mining company they already have the new model sold to the miners because it's quite significant time for the annual sales. But in the mining conference, I was talking with a lot of miners. Some of them already receive new Watts miner like M30S series, and then S19 from M miner. But none of them has received Canon's Avalon new miners. So I think it's probably Canon's gonna left behind again this year's. But between Microbit and what's Bitmain, I think one of the reasons that Bitmains are able to dominate the market for a year is because they secret ASIC chip design. They have some things called dontology, which allows them to produce the chip with only half the cost of its competitors. So they're able to put on the price war to push out other competitors out of market. So because Microbit share the same technology, because the founder of Microbit was also previously at the core tech team of Bitmain.
Yeah.
He got sued and got locked up and then got released again. Because there's a kind of like ugly political fights in Bitmain last year as well. So they the one who was in charge back then, Microbit Jan, he was more focused on AI chip design. So he neglected miner size a little bit. So Microbit took a very good chance to put on price war and then push out the miner M20. So they're able to take over big portions of Bitmain's market share last year. And I think it's going to continue because the Bitmain drama seems is still continuing and it's getting worse. So we're probably going to see the Watts miners going to overtake Bitmain's market share this year. I think it's going to be very
something else obviously to keep following. And on some of that internal drama, we've had a lot of reporting or maybe reporting of rumors at least about some of that internal drama. I think the latest that I've heard is that out of one of Bitmain's shipping warehouses in Shenzhen, maybe was kind of shipments had stopped. Do you have any latest updates on some of that internal drama and what's happening?
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny now. Because the company after the company came to two, Jihan's quickly moved a lot of like company entity and to the new company. So after Microbit come back to the Beijing headquarters, so all he got was because the employee was left, and then also there were like more on the financial side was still controlled by Jihan. So he quickly changed the payment of any miner order to the new company. So now the situation is Jihan is in charge of money. a financial side, and then Micrate is charged of the Beijing headquarters and more administrative power, so he's able to control the factory in Shenzhen. So now the case is people are ordering and then they send the money to Jihan, but Micrate is control the factory, so he stopped all the shipment of the orders that are placed through Jihan. So the buyers the buyer of end miners are not able to receive the miners. And then there was also funny news come out today, says that Micrate is trying to sell the miner in a very cheap price, like incredibly cheap price to to the miners. So in order to support himself, in order to support the company to operating, it's quite fun to see the dramas continue.
Yeah, something else to keep an eye on as that it seems like there's new news every week, every day with that. Thanks for the insight. Maybe last current events thing to touch on. Something that you've kind of shared updates on. Maybe you shared some of the first photos of the initial app and some pilot information for the central bank digital currency project in China, DCEP. Share, I guess, current status of that. Anything else you want to talk about for DCEP?
I don't think there's more to talk about on DCEP because now it's pretty much everything, right?
That's everything.
Yeah, so
all right.
we have to talk about money laundering.
Oh shit! Sorry. All right. Something else that's maybe could be classified as drama, but something that's been happening to people with their bank accounts in China. We've kind of heard some reports about people using USDT, Bitcoin, some of the OTC services, and having their bank accounts frozen. Can you share what's actually happening with that situation? Some of the causes, what's happening?
Actually, I got my bank account frozen after I bought some USDT, and it happened to a lot. I got like five friends got their bank account frozen after they sell USDT. I was the only one who got my bank account frozen for only buying USDT. Because currently there's a lot of people in China that are using USDT for money laundering. And a while ago, there was a team led by central bank and joined by the National Police Department for a huge anti-money laundering actions that to all the possible ways that people are using for the money laundering, which including crypto. For the past 2 years, a lot of people that are using USDT for money laundering because it's easy and cheap and very convenient. And now the police and the central banks got able to trace down all those transactions, so they're able to identify the people who are using USDT for money laundering, which that impact normal users. So
so they can track who's using it incorrectly, but then there was also kind of a blanket shutdown of people transacting, and that just for non illegal reasons too, I guess.
Right. So now I think most people that and also there were media was reporting and suggest that people just stop using OTC for a while, because currently the USDTs are pretty dirty, and then it's very easy to get your bank account frozen. And then after you got your bank account frozen, actually it might freeze for half a year or 1 year, depends how long the police need to investigate. So if you got monies in a bank account, then you would be like some kind of like
half a year without access to your money, not great.
Yeah, so now people are pretty cautious to using fiat to buy USDT, which I think in long term they might also impact the overall price of market.
Well, thanks for joining, Molly, and staying up late your time. Great to have you on. We'll have to check back in for more kind of current event updates as news items kind of compile. So thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, John.
Quick reminder, all of the content in this episode is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained in this presentation constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by BTC Media, the Let's Talk Bitcoin podcast network, or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments.